Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. Today we are starting a new story, The Reality of City Life by Amjad. It's about a smart boy named Amjad who moves to the city for a better life. But what he finds there really surprises him. This story shows the truth about how people live and behave in the city. So, let's begin this powerful story. Make sure to listen carefully till the end. Amjad was a simple boy from a small town. He was smart in studies and good in everything he did. One day, he decided to move to a big city. He wanted a better life, more chances, more learning, and a brighter future. But when Amjad reached the city, he was shocked. The city was fast, loud, and full of people. Everyone was busy, running here and there, working all day. But even with so many people around, something was missing. People didn't talk much. They didn't care about others. Everyone was busy with their own problems. Amjad felt a little lonely at first. He thought, why don't people smile here? Why don't they help each other? In his small town, life was simple. People trusted each other. If someone needed help, others came quickly. But here in the city, everything felt cold and different. This was the start of Amjad's new life. He was ready to learn, grow, and understand this new world. But deep in his heart, he knew something wasn't right. Amjad slowly started to understand how life works in the city. In the beginning, it was difficult for him. He used to look around and wonder why people in the city always seemed so serious, so rushed, and so alone. Even though there were many people on the roads, in buses, in markets, it felt like nobody really cared about each other. Everyone was thinking only about themselves. He tried to talk to people, but most of them were too busy. Some people didn't even reply properly. Others just smiled and walked away. Amjad had never seen this kind of behavior before. In his hometown, people had time for each other. If someone looked sad, people asked, "What happened? Are you okay?" But in the city, nobody had time to ask such questions. Everyone was in a race, running toward something, but Amjad didn't understand what they were chasing. After some time, Amjad was lucky. He met a few good people and made some friends. These friends helped him find a job in a company. Amjad was very happy to work. He thought, now I will make my life better. I will grow and learn new things. He was ready to do his best. But soon, Amjad noticed something new. In the company, people gave more importance to English. Those who spoke good English got more attention. They were respected more. They were included in important discussions. Amjad understood that to grow in the company, he must learn English. So he decided to improve his English speaking skills. He practiced every day, read books, listened to people, and tried to speak as much as he could. Amjad also noticed something that made him feel uncomfortable. Many people in the company acted friendly on the outside, but inside, they were thinking differently. They pretended to be kind, but in truth, they were looking for a chance to take advantage of others. If someone made a mistake, they didn't help. Instead, they would use that mistake to climb up in the company. Amjad saw that trust was weak here. People did not believe each other easily. Even if someone was honest, others still had doubts. This made Amjad think deeply. Why do people act like this? Why do they find it so hard to trust others? He started to understand that in the city, people are so afraid of being used or cheated that they stop believing in anyone. And because of this fear, they also start doing the same things. They learn to lie, to hide the truth, to use others when needed. It becomes a habit. Slowly, this becomes a culture, a way of living. And the worst part is, good people also start doing these tricks because they feel they have no choice. If they stay honest, they get left behind. Amjad realized that when one person breaks trust, it does not stop there. It spreads. Others start doing the same. Soon, the whole system becomes weak. People smile on the outside, but keep walls around their hearts. They don't show their true feelings. They don't say what they really think. This makes life lonely and full of doubt, even when you are surrounded by people. As Amjad continued his life in the city, he began to look deeper into the way people behaved. He watched closely how people treated each other in daily life. He noticed that many people in the city had become experts at pretending. They wore fake smiles, spoke polite words, but their actions told a different story. Some would act friendly only when they needed help. Once their work was done, they would forget the person they used. Amjad started to understand that many people in the city do not build real friendships. Instead, they build connections that can give them benefits. If someone has power, money, or status, others will try to be close to them. But if a person is poor or has no value to offer, people ignore them. Amjad felt sad seeing this. He thought in the village people loved each other for who they were, not for what they had. In the city, Amjad saw that success had become more important than relationships. Many people were ready to break promises, lie, or even cheat others just to get ahead. They were ready to step on others just to move forward in life. Amjad knew that being ambitious is not wrong. Wanting a better life is natural. But when ambition becomes more important than honesty, it starts to hurt people. Some people in the city did not start out this way. They came with good hearts, just like Amjad. But over time, they changed. Why? Because they saw that being good and honest did not always help them. Sometimes they lost chances, promotions, or respect just because they chose to do the right thing. So slowly, they also began to act like the rest. They learned to speak sweetly but think only about themselves. They learned to play tricks, hide their true thoughts, and protect themselves at all times. This change does not happen in one day. It happens slowly. First, a small lie. Then, a small betrayal. Then, a broken promise. And before they know it, they become part of the system. A system where trust is weak, relationships are not deep, and people are always trying to protect themselves from being hurt or used. Amjad also saw that because of this behavior, people stopped believing each other. Even when someone was telling the truth, others still doubted them. It was as if the city had built a wall of doubt and fear between people. People were scared to open up, scared to share their real thoughts, because they were afraid someone might use their words against them. This lack of trust started to damage the whole society. When people cannot trust each other, they stop helping each other. They stop caring. They become selfish, thinking only about their own needs. This creates a cold and lonely world. A world where people are always wearing masks, hiding their true selves, and never feeling truly safe around others. Amjad also saw something even more serious. When people see others breaking rules or using tricks to get success, they start doing the same thing. Not because they want to, but because they feel they have to. They think, if I don't do it, I will be left behind. This creates a cycle. One person lies, the next person lies even more. One person cheats, the next person cheats in a bigger way. And slowly it becomes normal. This is how bad habits become part of the culture. And when this happens, even the innocent people get affected. Even those who want to be honest feel pressure to change. They lose their innocence. They begin to think, maybe this is the only way to live here. And when innocence is lost, it is very hard to bring it back. Amjad was learning all these things not from books, but from real life. Every day in the city was teaching him something new. He was learning that city life is not just about lights, jobs, and opportunities. It also comes with challenges of the heart and mind. The city tests not just your skills, but also your values. It tests how strong you can stay when the world around you is full of confusion, competition, and fake smiles. Amjad began to think more deeply about his purpose. He knew he couldn't change the city or its people overnight, but he believed he could still protect his own values. So he made a decision. He told himself, no matter what happens, he would not lie, cheat, or hurt anyone for success. He would stay honest even if it meant moving slowly. He would not wear a fake mask to please others. He would speak the truth kindly and stand for what was right. At work, he began to notice how people reacted to his way of doing things. Some laughed at him. They said he was too soft, too simple for the city. Others warned him that if he didn't play tricks like the rest, he would be left behind. But slowly, a few people began to respect him. They saw that he was consistent. He was polite, but firm. He was honest, but not foolish. He did his work with full dedication, without stealing credit or blaming others. One day, his manager called him and said, "I've been watching you. You don't join office politics. You don't gossip or complain. You just do your work quietly and help others without expecting anything. That's rare in this place." Amjad smiled. He didn't say much, but inside he felt strong. He was proving that goodness could survive in a tough place. But this journey was not easy. There were days when he felt lonely. He saw others getting promotions by pleasing the right people or bending the rules. He saw how people who spoke lies with confidence were trusted more than those who spoke the truth softly. There were times when he doubted himself. He wondered, am I foolish to believe that honesty still matters? But every time this thought came, he reminded himself of his village, his family, and his values. He also began to meet a few people who were like him. They were not many, but they were enough to give him hope. These were people who had also suffered because they chose truth over tricks. They were often left out of circles. They were not the favorites of the bosses, but they had peace in their hearts. Amjad began spending time with them. He listened to their stories. Some had faced big losses. Some had even lost jobs. But none of them had lost their self-respect. Amjad realized something very important. Success is not just about how high you rise. It is also about how you rise. Do you climb up by pulling others down, or by lifting yourself with hard work? Do you earn your place with honesty, or by playing games? He understood that the way you walk is just as important as where you reach. He also saw how people who played tricks often lived in fear. They were always scared someone would find out their lies. They had to remember their fake stories. They had to be careful about what they said and to whom. Their life became a daily drama. On the outside, they looked powerful. But inside, they were tired and scared. Amjad felt free because he had nothing to hide. He didn't need to act differently with different people. He didn't need to worry about being caught. His truth gave him peace, and that peace gave him strength. One evening, he was walking home from work and saw a little boy trying to sell flowers. The boy looked tired and hungry. No one was buying his flowers. People were walking past him without even looking. Amjad stopped, smiled, and bought all the flowers. The boy looked surprised and said, "Why are you so kind?" Amjad simply said, "Because someone was kind to me once." That small moment reminded him why he must continue being true to himself. The world may not always reward kindness quickly, but it remembers it. One kind act can light someone's day. One honest word can save someone's hope. Amjad saw that even if he couldn't change the city, he could be a small light in it. And maybe one light would inspire another and another. He began to write in a diary each night. Not long essays, just small notes. Notes about what he learned that day. Notes about what made him happy or sad. Notes about people he met and things he saw. This habit helped him stay connected with himself. It reminded him of his goals. It reminded him that even small steps matter. In the office, his work began to speak for itself. His reports were always clear. His behavior with clients was polite and honest. He never made fake promises, and yet his clients trusted him more. Because of his clear way of working, he was given a new responsibility. It was not a big position, but it was meaningful. He was asked to train new employees. He took this role seriously. He spoke to them not just about tasks, but also about how to deal with people, how to stay true in tough situations, and how to build trust slowly. He didn't speak like a teacher. He spoke like a friend. He shared real examples, his own mistakes, and how he corrected them. The new employees felt safe to open up to him. They began to admire him. Some of them even said, "Sir, we didn't think honesty could work here, but now we believe it can." That sentence gave Amjad more joy than any award, because he knew if even one person chooses the right path because of him, his journey is worth it. He learned something else, too. Sometimes when you take the right path, you walk alone. People may not understand you. They may call you foolish or weak, but slowly your actions begin to speak. People may not change overnight, but they notice. They remember. And one day, when they are tired of fakeness, they will remember someone who stayed real. Someone who chose peace over power, honesty over success, truth over comfort. And that memory can plant a seed of change. Amjad now walked through the same streets of the city, but with a different heart. He was not just surviving. He was living with purpose. Not to change the whole world, but to make sure he did not lose himself in it. He still had many struggles. He still faced pressure. But his heart was not heavy anymore, because he had found a way to live with truth in a world full of lies. And that truth had become his quiet strength. As time passed, Amjad continued living and working in the city. By now, he had spent a few years there. The city that once felt strange and cold had now become familiar. But his view about it had not changed much. He still saw that people were running fast, chasing after money, position, and comfort. They were too busy to notice what they were losing in the process. Peace, trust, kindness, and connection. He had seen people who became successful very quickly, but many of them were not truly happy. Their faces showed stress. Their relationships were weak. They had everything: cars, houses, jobs, but they had no one to talk to with an open heart. They were surrounded by people, yet alone on the inside. Amjad understood that the city was not just a place made of tall buildings. It was also made of people's thoughts and behavior. And most people in the city were afraid. Afraid of being left behind. Afraid of showing weakness. Afraid of trusting others. This fear made them act selfishly. This fear made them pretend. This fear forced them to hide their true selves. But there were still a few people like Amjad who had not let fear control them. People who chose honesty even when it was hard. People who respected others even if they got nothing in return. These people were like quiet pillars in a noisy place. They were few, but strong. And they held the values that kept humanity alive in a place where machines and money seemed more important. Amjad also saw something else clearly. Many people in the city wore a mask. They smiled even when they were broken inside. They acted strong even when they needed help. They looked confident, but they were insecure. This made relationships weak. Because when people do not show their real emotions, others cannot understand them. When everyone is pretending, there is no space for real connection. He remembered how life in his village was simple. People had less, but they shared more. They trusted easily. They helped without asking. Their words were not fancy, but they were honest, and their hearts were not closed. Amjad realized that what makes a place beautiful is not buildings or lights. It is how people treat each other. So he started doing something small but powerful. He began speaking with people around him with more kindness. He stopped and listened when someone was sad. He smiled at strangers. He helped new employees without showing off. He did not give long speeches about truth or honesty. He just lived it quietly, and people noticed. Slowly, a few others began changing their behavior too. They started becoming more respectful, more helpful. They started trusting each other more. It was not a big revolution, but it was a beginning. Amjad once had a talk with an old colleague who said, I used to think being good is a weakness, but after watching you, I feel maybe it's the strongest thing. That sentence stayed with Amjad, because it proved that even when you don't speak loudly, your actions can become someone's learning. He also began to teach spoken English to some junior staff in his free time. He remembered how difficult it was for him in the beginning, how people had judged him just because he couldn't speak fluent English. So now he wanted to help others not face the same pain. But while teaching English, he also taught them confidence. He told them, language is just a tool. It doesn't decide your value. Your heart, your thinking, and your actions do. As the years went by, Amjad became known in his office as someone dependable. Someone who would not lie to get ahead. Someone who would not harm others for gain. He was not the richest. He was not the most powerful. But he was respected, truly respected. Not just because of what he did, but because of how he lived. He proved that even in a place full of competition and fake smiles, you could still live with honesty. You could still keep your values. You could still trust and build trust. One day, a new intern asked him, "Sir, what is the most important lesson you've learned in city life?" Amjad thought for a moment and said, "Never lose your goodness while trying to become great, because greatness that costs your peace is not real." This was the heart of his journey. Amjad came to the city with dreams of success. He faced shocks, confusion, and disappointments. But through it all, he found something even more important than success. He found the power of staying true, the power of quiet strength, the power of kindness in a place where it was rare. The city had changed him, but not by making him hard or bitter. It had made him wiser. It had taught him that the world may not always reward you for being good, but your soul will. And in the end, peace of mind is the biggest success. He did not want to run the fastest. He only wanted to walk with purpose, truth, and courage. Because he had seen that even if the road is full of lies, one honest traveler can still walk on it without losing his way. And Amjad had become that traveler. That's the end of the story. If you enjoyed the story, please like, share, and subscribe for more exciting tales. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for the next adventure. Thanks for watching.